Hi, first grade. Miss Keeley here, back for what I think might be our last project of the year, which is really crazy. Um, but before I get into things, I want to tell you that I thought you did a really nice job with the movement project with the balloons. That was a really tricky project, and I thought that they came out really nice. Um, this week we are going to focus on something called emphasis and contrast. Okay, so emphasis is when you are looking at a work of art and there's just this one thing that pops out to you and it looks different from everything else in the picture and it's kind of extra special that it's different. So, excuse me, in all of these pictures here, there's one thing in each picture that is a little bit different. Could be a different color, different shape, and it kind of pops out at you right away as being different, and it's that extra special emphasis, okay? So like out of these purple birds, there's just this one blue one, and it is different. Out of these flowers, most of them are this purplish pink color, and then you have this one white flower that pops out at you, okay? Um, so emphasis, remember, is extra special, pops out at you as being a little bit different. And then contrast is a fancy word for something that is opposite. If you know what opposite is, um, I'll give you some examples like happy versus sad, cold versus warm, sunny versus rainy. So things that are opposite. So you can see here there's a happy face emoji. The opposite of happy is sad. So you have a crying emoji. The opposite of big is small. So that's why we have a big flower and a small flower. The opposite of dark is light. So we have like a black cat and then a white cat. And then we have peppers here. And although they're the same thing, they're both peppers. They're just an opposite color. So one is green, one is red. Okay. In some of these examples here, these are famous artworks. This one is by the artist M.C. Escher. This is showing contrast because it's showing light and dark colors. Um, so like dark black colors and then opposite whites, like really bright light white colors. And then these two are the same. This is by the artist Banksy. Um, he does a lot of his artwork kind of spray painted in the streets on walls, but then they in the museum when I got to go see, they had just a little example framed on a piece of paper. Uh, but so this is showing contrast and emphasis. So first contrast opposite the little girl here is only drawn in black and white. So he uses the black to make like a shadow and then the white to kind of add different highlighted areas. And then it's showing emphasis that one thing that's extra special is the red balloon that is different. It's a bright color, it pops out at you as being different and it's extra special. Okay? Um, so this week we are going to be creating some jellyfish. So let me get to the video. Folders. Contrast, emphasis. Sorry, I thought I had this ready. Okay, so first thing you are going to need is a piece of white paper, crayons. If you would like to paint it in the later steps, you will need some watercolor paints, or you can kind of use a different art material. But we are going to start to draw some jellyfish. Now, eventually we are going to cut these jellyfish out, so you'll see that I and making them all kind of spread out. But so what you are going to do is you are going to pick a crayon. And so I started with purple, and you can see I already drew it. And you're going to start with a rainbow line, or like an arch-shaped line, or an upside-down U. And then we're going to draw a wavy line across connecting, and it kind of looks like almost like a little ghost, but it's the top of a jellyfish, okay? We are not going to add the legs because we're going to leave that for like the very end of our project. But you can see next I'm taking different color crayons and I'm just designing my jellyfish however I want. You guys can do whatever you would like. If you want to make a face and make it silly, you can. I just stuck to different lines, shapes, patterns, things like that. You can also decide if you want to have big jellyfishes, smaller jellyfishes. So I drew a second one and I made it a little bit bigger. Same thing, that arch shape and then a wavy line across. I did kind of like a little flower shape kind of going out of the top with my crayons, some spirals and some orange flowers. And then I have a little baby jellyfish at the bottom. Same patterns that way. I did 3. You need at least 3. Um, if you want to do more, you can, but you need at least 3. So if you want to do 4, fine, that's good. If you want to do 5, awesome. If you want to do 2, nope. You have to have 3 or more, okay? And so then this is where if you have paint, you can choose to paint them. If you don't have paint, you could use markers, color pencils, you could keep going with crayon. But I'm just kind of paint mine, and you can kind of paint yours however you want. So I wanted to make a red-violet color, so I put down the color red first, washed my paintbrush, and now I'm taking purple and I'm mixing them on the paper. And then I'm going to make this little square at the bottom, and that is going to be where we're going to be cutting our little jellyfish tentacles out from in a later step. You could draw them, but I think it's going to be really tricky for you to cut out all these little pieces. So that's why we're making this one big block of color. Okay. If you want to do a rainbow jellyfish colored in, go for it. I think I'm doing a little design here where I do yellow, I mix green a little bit. I go to a darker green and then I have it blend to blue. And then I don't forget to add this little square at the bottom because we're going to be cutting our legs out from that shape. And then the last one I do purple that fades into blue. And then I decided to do orange at the bottom because I wanted to have orange tentacles in the next video. When you're painting, you can decide if you want to go back and add any like dots, or so I add red dots on this one, some details like that. But other than that, that is it for step 1. It's kind of a lot. You have to draw your jellyfishes out first with crayon, and then you have to color them in either with paints, color pencils, markers, something that you have, okay? And then you're gonna put this to dry somewhere safe, and then we're gonna get back to it at a later step. All right. So that is it for this week. I will chat with you next week. All right. Bye.